Pope Francis, about 5 years ago, said, we're way ahead of him by 35 years, said that canon lawyers and canon law organizations should not charge because the faithful should be able to receive canonical assistance. And so bishops should pay canon lawyers, private canon lawyers' fees. They should do that so that the faithful can enjoy proper representation in law. Yeah, I saw some people laughing out there. I did too. But I wrote to the Pope and I said, thank you for the affirmation. He said, you're welcome. So, what we do, though, is something a little bit different than most canon lawyers. When a case comes to us from a priest or anyone, we evaluate it individually. We don't play the, we're going to do a cut and paste game. We want to hear, what is the issue? And one of the common questions I ask a priest is, what did you do to get somebody upset? What did you do? Somebody's mad at you. Do you have any clue what you did? What did you say? Did you recently give a pro-life homily? It's a common question I ask. Did you recently speak against the evils of homosexuality? Did you actually tell people that family life is important and that they need to protect their children from society? And so be careful of what you do with your kids or let them do after school in those after school programs. Did you actually say that? Did you actually say that human life is precious and because it is, you can't use IVF? Do you know how many Catholics use IVF? Way too many, that's right. The issue is, usually there's an undercurrent that's beneath whatever is happening to the priest or to the people. And understanding that undercurrent allows us to develop strategies and develop those strategies specific to the situation. And with that, we've had a lot more success. Now, I can tell you, almost every case is political. So I do not go into cases believing I'm going to win a legal victory. And I warn my clients of that. I have a few clients in the room. And they'll remember that back in the early days of conversation with me, I told them I was more concerned about their soul than I was about winning the case. And that if we didn't do it right, in the way that Jesus said to do it in the gospel, then we weren't going to do it. And if we didn't do it right and stayed within the realm of grace, we weren't going to do it. And I can tell you it's why I haven't been removed from the list of canon lawyers that can send cases to the Vatican. And I can tell you this too, that my office writes about one appeal a week to the Vatican. That's how many cases we have. Okay? We currently have about 25 on docket at the Supreme Court of the Catholic Church right now, as we speak. So we have a pretty heavy caseload. But we're willing to take it because we see this as pursuing things for the good of souls. 1/3 of our cases are priests. And they're not sex-abusing priests. They're priests like the ones that are out here in the audience. In fact, some of them have met me before I came here today. So with that, I want to close. That's just a brief presentation on the rights, and just a few rights. The importance of maintaining communion by using the gospel method enshrined in canon law to defend our rights, and to staying united, just like we are in this room, in order to protect our rights as faithful. I'm going to close with this one story. I know that's what I was going to close. I'm going to close with this one story. So recently had a case. I won't say where. Some people probably figure it out. The bishop involved, or the archbishop, was going to close about, 90 parishes in his diocese. So we came in, And I told the people, if you don't unite, you're going to lose. Because they're going to sucker punch you one down at a time. And if I have to write 90 appeals for 90 parishes, I can't do it. And you can't find enough canon lawyers in this country who'll do it. So you need to come up with a better plan. So we did. Well, part of the plan was we surveyed the priests of that diocese. Now, the bishop had surveyed the people, and I surveyed the priests. He got a 14% response rate from the people. I got a 14% response rate from the priests. Now, he didn't publish his findings about what they thought about closing parishes, but I published mine. Here were my findings. 89% of the priests opposed the merger and closure of parishes in that diocese. 50% of the priests did not know what their rights were as pastors. 35% said they would file their own case against the archbishop if he did something to them or their parishes. So far, none of the parishes that followed our program were closed, and none of the priests were moved. You've got to follow the gospel. You got to know how to fight, and you got to stick together in the fight. With that, let's open it to some questions. We don't have time? We're out of time. Okay, I used all the time up. No questions. Thank you. Come visit my table. I have lots of material I brought. And it's all free.
Angel, what is your right?